The man caresses a huge skin bag. He plucks a hair from the skin. The man got his answer right away.
This is the hide of a sow.
The king said the answer was wrong. And then, a man with a serious face appeared. He looked through his binoculars. The princess was very nervous. If someone recognized the correct answer, she had to marry him. The man said seriously that it was bark. The king laughed and denied the answer. At that moment, a handsome knight came up. The princess liked him very much. She asked the king what the answer was, but the king refused to answer. The knight's answer was a giant manatee. The princess looked at her father expectantly. The king apologized and said it wasn't. And then, an ugly man came in. The soldiers stopped him. The king said everyone had a right to participate. He didn't believe anyone could guess the answer. The princess looked at the man in horror. The giant sniffed the skin. Then he said firmly, "This is the skin of a flea." The king was terrified. He didn't realize that the man had guessed the right answer. But why is a flea so big? It turns out that 3 months ago, a flea crawled on the king's hand. He was going to kill the flea with a slap, but the flea suddenly jumped onto his palm. The king turned over his left hand. The flea jumped onto his left hand again. The king immediately adopted the flea as his new pet. He pricked his finger and used a magnifying glass to watch the flea eat. And the king gave the flea a luxurious villa. He watched the flea grow every day. The king also built a cart. He trained the fleas to pull it 800 times a day. And what's even better, the king gave the flea an expensive steak every day. The flea's body grew by leaps and bounds. But after a few months, the flea suddenly got sick.